Police opened fire to stop suspected drug dealer in a car. One of the two giant ducks on Victoria Harbour takes a break. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson resigns as lawmaker. Good evening and welcome to TVB News. Two police officers opened fire while intercepting a suspicious vehicle on Princess Margaret Road today. No injuries have been reported. The police arrested the 25-year-old driver and seized 80 bags of suspected cocaine found in the vehicle. This as authorities stressed that the officers' use of their weapons was appropriate as a form of self-defense. Timothy Lee has our top story.
Crashed into a fence railing on Princess Margaret Road, the suspect's vehicle sustained severe damages. More police officers arrived as backup. The side of a pursuing police car was also damaged. Police said they received a report at around 11 this morning from an individual who claimed a private car carrying the same license plate of his friend's vehicle was seen on Waterloo Road. Officers then stopped the suspected vehicle outside the Hong Kong police station on Princess Margaret Road. Suddenly, the suspect's car reversed and crashed into another vehicle. Police pulled out their weapons and warned the suspect with no avail and fired one shot at the right side of the suspect's car. The suspect then rammed his vehicle into the intercepting police car, with a police officer narrowly dodging the crash. Another officer fired a second shot at a window on the left side of the vehicle after another failed warning. The suspect then drove into a fence railing before police personnel arrested the man. Authorities are questioning the 25-year-old male suspect surnamed Lee. An inspection of the vehicle led to the discovery of 80 bags of suspected cocaine with an estimated value of $100,000. Police said the vehicle was reported missing in Yuen Long back in March and believe that someone stole the car before fitting it with a fake license for drug trafficking use. Authorities emphasized that the involved officer's decision to open fire was an appropriate move.
The only motive that I can think of is to evade arrest. Because, as I said, he's definitely a drug trafficker. Every police officer is professionally trained on the use of firearms. There's very strict guidelines on this. And as I said, the only reason that the officers drew out their revolvers, their firearms, and use them is to protect themselves as well as other road users.
The suspect has a history of being involved with the triads and was arrested on several charges, including drug trafficking and dangerous driving. Behind me, the suspect's vehicle could still be seen at the scene of the crash, with police officers searching the interior of the car. As of this afternoon, the traffic on Princess Margaret Road is already running smoothly, but several police officers remain at the scene. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Numerous cases of murder and violence have shocked the city over recent days. Secretary for Security Chris Tang said he would deploy more manpower to the front line to beef up patrols. He also believes that the injunction to ban protest song "Glory to Hong Kong" is necessary. Tang said he understands residents' concerns about their safety and said Chief Executive John Lee has instructed the police to patrol the streets in a high-profile manner. He also called for a ban on "Glory to Hong Kong," which a court said contains slogans that may constitute sedition. As for the decision to detain some 20 people on the 34th anniversary of the Tiananmen Square incident, Tang reiterated that it was to ensure public safety. A series of recent violent attacks appear to involve attackers suffering from mental illness. A government mental health panel member and a community group urged authorities to improve Hong Kong's mental support services, saying tighter collaboration should be forged between the public and private psychiatric sectors. Mimosa Ngai reports.
In the past couple of weeks, several attacks resulting in deaths or injuries involved suspects who might have been suffering from mental illness. The situation has generated concern within the community. On Friday, the government's Advisory Committee on Mental Health proposed 10 measures to enhance the city's mental health services, including increasing manpower to optimize the ratio of case managers to serious mental illness patients. A committee member, Patrick Ip, believes the progress is encouraging. However, closer collaboration is needed between the private and public sectors.
The chairman of the Advisory Committee on Mental Health, as well as the Deputy Secretary for Medical and Health, had already announced in the press conference yesterday that the government actually has decided to invest much more in supporting the need of mental health, particularly with related to the carers of all those mental health patients. So I think this is a very positive direction which is encouraging. The existing service, in particular related to mental health service, obviously still need to be further enhanced. In the coming months to years, one of the tasks is trying to enhance the involvement of the private psychiatric service in order to support more stable mental health illness patients.
Deputy Director of the Society for Community Organizations, Silai Shan, said authorities should offer extra support for ethnic minorities and grassroots families. She added single parents and people with large families tend to face more pressure.
They need support for their children and themselves. They learn the Chinese language because most of them, they feel very hard to follow up with the learning of the Chinese. And the other is the support of the childcare.
See added single parents and people with large families tend to face more pressure. Memos 9, TVB News.
Dozens of people were left disappointed today when they went to see the Double Ducks exhibition in Victoria Harbour, and one of the ducks was deflated. The hot weather meant the yellow material was overstretched. Veronica Lin was with the ducks this morning.
Two giant inflatable ducks, titled Double Ducks, made an appearance near Tamar Park and the Central and Western District Promenade. The duo, standing at 18 meters tall each, are among the tallest rubber ducks in the world. A decade since the lone duck debuted in Victoria Harbour, it's now returned with a companion. Even the rain can't dampen these residents' and tourists' enthusiasm for the birds. Dozens swarmed the viewing deck at Tamar Park to take selfies and pose with families and friends. They put in all their effort to find the best angle to frame the perfect duck picture. After a 10-year absence, the organizers and Dutch artist Florentin Hoffman both hope these ducks will bring joy to the city post-pandemic. Some tourists were impressed by the size of the duo.
I thought they would be a lot smaller. They're absolutely huge, like very, very cool.
Others said it's like a trip down memory lane and that the ducks are a witness to how the city has changed and evolved over the years.
10 years ago, we actually came to see also a rubber duck like this in Tsim Sha Tsui here. And this time, 10 years later, we would like to recall our memories like 10 years ago when we are so happy taking photos with this rubber duck. Hong Kong actually changed a lot in the past 10 years. Well, today we have a lot of more advanced technologies like maybe robots and artificial intelligence.
Suddenly, one of the ducks deflated. It happened at around 2 p.m. with crowds watching. This caused disappointment among those who had hoped to catch a glimpse of the pair. While making a routine check, organizers found it was overstretched due to the hot weather, so they made the decision to deflate the duck.
Double duck, double fun. Organizers said they would display a 3D animation of the pair at the Tsim Sha Tsui Ferry Pier. An augmented reality experience will also be introduced on June 14th. Veronica Lin, TVB News.
Secretary for Environment and Ecology JUN said authorities will take immediate action to ban aquatic products along Fukushima's coast once Japan discharges treated and diluted nuclear wastewater into the sea. The operator of Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, Tokyo Electric Power Company, decided to dump nuclear wastewater from the site into the ocean. Ze said such a decision is immoral. He said strict control measures on Japanese aquatic products are necessary, with the government obligated to protect public food safety. Former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson shocked Britain by resigning as a Member of Parliament. Tracy Fannis has more.
Boris jumping down.
Londoners were surprised to hear former Prime Minister Boris Johnson was stepping down as a Member of Parliament over an investigation into his conduct during the COVID lockdown.
I think it's quite surprising that he has. I wasn't expecting it, but with everything that's happened over the past 2 to 3 years, I think it's kind of the push comes to shove. He's gone. He had no choice to leave.
I'd got to say probably that it's for the best. During the pandemic, he sort of stiffed the country over and has not been held accountable for it.
There must now be an election.
Johnson had been under investigation by a parliamentary inquiry looking into whether he misled the House of Commons about lockdown-breaking parties in Downing Street. He told them rules were followed. After Johnson received a confidential letter from the committee investigating him, he accused some lawmakers of acting like a kangaroo court and being determined to end his political career.
He's been forced out, actually, by a Conservative majority committee, and he knows he won't win the vote in Parliament, which, of course, is dominated by the Conservative Party. Let's be clear on that. Look, he's a man who needs a platform. He thrives on the oxygen of publicity. So what on earth he'll do next, I do not know.
In a lengthy resignation statement, Johnson hinted that his rollercoaster political career might not yet be over. It is very sad to be leaving Parliament, at least for now, he said. Johnson became British Prime Minister 4 years ago, delivering Brexit after a 2016 referendum. But his administration's combative and often chaotic approach to governing and the scandals exhausted the goodwill of many lawmakers. He resigned as Prime Minister in July 2022. Johnson's resignation as a Member of Parliament reopens divisions in the ruling Conservative Party ahead of a general election expected next year. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
Honduran President Iris Xiomara Castro Sarmiento was in Shanghai today at the start of a 6-day state visit to China. The Honduran president visited the headquarters of the New Development Bank in Shanghai, where she met the bank's president Dilma Rousseff, a former president of Brazil. She also visited the research center of Chinese tech giant Huawei, where she was received by the company chairman Liang Hua. Xiomara Castro will stay in Shanghai for 2 days before heading to Beijing, where she will meet President Xi Jinping. China officially opened its embassy in the Honduran capital on Monday. Her visit to China comes 2 months after the two countries formally established diplomatic relations. Still ahead on tonight's news. Donald Trump is charged for keeping classified documents with nuclear and military information. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau visits Ukraine in a show of support. Warm welcome back to TVB News. 1 day after his indictment, the charges against former U.S. President Donald Trump were made public by prosecutors. He faces a 37-count indictment in connection with hoarding national security documents. Prosecutors say the ex-president kept nuclear secrets and impeded the investigation. Trump denies this. David Garrett reports.
Charging Donald J. Trump with felony violations of our national security laws, as well as participating in a conspiracy to obstruct justice.
The former president faces more charges than first thought.
I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong.
A 37-count indictment accusing Trump of mishandling classified information. The documents contain America's nuclear secrets and military plans.
Our laws that protect national defense information are critical for the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced. Violations of those laws put our country at risk.
Trump's running to be the president again next year. Some of his supporters call it a politically motivated witch hunt.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone. Applying those laws, collecting facts, that's what determines the outcome of an investigation. Nothing more and nothing less.
Trump denies the charges. The former president's accused of keeping classified files on a stage, in a ballroom, in a shower and in a bathroom in Palm Beach, showing them off to guests and lying to investigators. He's alleged to have shared US military plans with friends at his Bedminster golf club.
Now in this indictment is that there were affirmative steps taken by Donald Trump to prevent the government from retrieving the classified documents and effectively thwarting their efforts to get them back.
Two lawyers defending Trump have quit. The resignation of John Rowley and Jim Trusty is ahead of Trump's appearance in federal court in Miami on Tuesday. Former military valet Walt Nauta has been charged alongside Trump. Nauta worked at Trump's Florida resort after the White House. Some of the charges carry up to 10 years in prison. President Joe Biden was tight-lipped about the incident. Trump's Vice President Mike Pence was not giving much away either. Pence is also running for the White House in 2024.
Look, everyone is innocent until proven guilty in America. I think the former president has a right to make his defense, and we'll respect that right.
Trump is due to appear publicly for the first time since charges were brought later Saturday. He'll speak at a rally in Georgia. David Garrett, TVB News.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is in Ukraine to lend his support in the war against Russia. The unannounced trip comes as the country prepares to step up its counter-offensive against Russia. Trudeau started his visit by attending a wreath-laying at the Wall of Remembrance in the capital. President Volodymyr Zelensky has briefed the leaders of Japan and the Netherlands and will meet face-to-face with Trudeau. Meantime, environmentalists are concerned as drone footage shows the coastline of the southern Odessa region littered with items after a major dam was breached this week. The Dnipro River is carrying debris from flooded areas. Various objects from houses could be seen. Each side in the conflict is blaming the other for attacking the dam. That's the news. Thanks for watching.